This podcast contains some magical adult language. Listener discretion is advised. And sorry, Mom.
I'm going to Disney World. I'm going to...
Whoa. You're not Mickey Mouse, you're a rat.
Rat smack! Besides, they're tourists. What do they know?
Welcome to Rat Castle, a progressive chat about Disney magic without the pixie dust. Filling in for Mr. Nathan Hartman, this is Dave Cobb. I'll be your host today, and joining me are, first we have Victoria.
Hello.
Then we have Janine.
Buenos dias.
and then we have, of course, Sarah.
Hello.
Can I just say for a second, the all ladies episode last week that I listened to was fire.
Oh,
thank
you.
We need to do that more often, where we're like ladies' night. It made me so happy. It made me so happy.
It was very fun. I had a great time with you guys, so I'm glad that you liked it, Dave. I hope we did you guys proud, and we hope we handled it.
Babe.
It was really great. It was really great. All right, let's get this show on the road. Let's start with some news. We're going to start with Disney theme parks, and we're going to start first with Disney World. Victoria, why don't you kick us off?
Oh, so for once, Disney World has all the news. Ain't that something? So, so right now, to no one's surprise, unless you're not in the know, there are labor shortages that are still happening. So because of said labor shortages, some character meet and greets will be temporarily suspended starting this Sunday, the 23rd. So this is going to include Minnie Mouse in Town Square Theater at Magic Kingdom and International Gateway at Epcot, Donald and Daisy and Max at Hollywood Studios. Still no idea when Pete Silly Sideshow is going to open in Magic Kingdom. And they're basically saying this is because some other things are returning, like Fantasmic, which was part of the list, but it's going to come back on November 3rd. And as of right now, you can't get in the park for that. And character dining is coming back. So they're kind of stretching out
shifting them around.
Yeah.
That's you don't get free things anymore. If you want to meet Minnie, you have to pay for the character dining experience.
Yep,
pretty much.
That's precisely it. And no Minnie. There's Mickey, but no Minnie. That's sexist. I mean,
Honestly, yeah. I feel like I think it's so weird how in Disney World, you guys don't have that many character interactions,
it's
just
trash.
with them just walking around.
We don't have that at all. They're in dedicated little spots, and that's it.
But I get why, because the culture is way different.
Really?
Literally, when I went to California, Mickey was essentially running his own line. You would not be able to do that at Disney World.
No, you couldn't in Florida. Yeah. That's why fair. They got to have, that's why you have Town Square, right? With the little character meet and greet little rooms there. I get it. From a scale perspective, Florida has to do it differently, but it just seems like they talk about this being staffing problems and staffing or costs. Did they not just have a record year there? Or am I just making that up?
That's what they keep saying. 1 minute they say they're on the brink of bankruptcy. The next minute they say everything's hunky-dory. What is the truth?
No, well, if you're the IRS, you're getting one story. And if you're the shareholders, you're getting another one.
That is 1000% true. I think you nailed it, Jeannie. It's if they can monetize it and it's sneaky monetizing. It's character breakfast. We already do those. It's not like we're saying you have to pay for this, but if you want to meet a character, you kind of have to do. So
if you want guaranteed.
Yeah, if you want a guarantee of it. Ugh. Oy vey.
Yeah.
Ugh. But Fantasmic's coming back.
That makes me excited.
It does sound really good. I'm excited. The first time I saw Fantasmic, I cried. It did not have that effect on me the second or third time, but
was it the Florida one or California?
The Florida one.
Okay.
I haven't seen the California one.
Oh,
California one's
better.
Baby,
can I just say
it's better?
Yeah.
And it's the OG.
I wasn't going to lead that conversation, but I went to see the Florida one the first time. I'm like, what is that tiny little steamboat they have? Because it's like this tiny little prop, whereas in California it's literally the
ship.
Oh wow. That makes
sense.
And the other thing about California is like, it's in a spot of the park that you're walking through all day. It's not a dedicated theater, which is a whole different kind of show to me. Like if I go to a theater to see something, now granted that again is because of scale. Like there's no way they could do. First of all, they don't have the Rivers of America at the Magic Kingdom like they do at Disneyland. So I understand why they have to put it in Hollywood Studios, why it needed a dedicated place. But there's just something about the transformation of Frontierland and New Orleans Square in Fantasmic that makes that show sort of extra magical. Although
everything just comes alive.
It really does.
Mm-hmm.
I really prefer the original show, though. I'm not a huge fan of the new one. But still, I'll take what I can get, But I'm excited to see what they're replacing stuff with in Florida, because they're like, there's no more Pocahontas water ballet, right? Like they're taking that out, or from what I heard.
I don't know what exactly they're taking out. All I heard is they're adding something, like they're adding a hero sequence with Mulan, Moana, Pocahontas, Elsa, and Aladdin.
Yeah.
But they didn't say they were taking anything out. So I don't know what the deal is with that. But either way, I'm excited to see what they do with it.
Yeah, it's a good show. And even in that permanent venue, it is its own kind of magical, nighttime closer. So I'm excited for that to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we've got so the cast member union failing to reach an agreement with Disney. Surprise.
I'm sure this has nothing to do with the fact that Minnie Mouse can't be met anymore.
Shocked, like literally shocked, appalled. I don't understand. So pretty much with that, they were bargaining with Disney management for 2 whole days. And they just couldn't come to an agreement. They've been talking for a couple of months, still haven't come to an agreement as far as the following, which is wages, healthcare, retirement, paid parental leave, third shift differential, coordinator and trainer premium, additional holiday for Juneteenth. We got to fight for Juneteenth, and that's a problem. And hour guarantees.
All of those things sound very reasonable to me.
Like they sound
bare minimum.
Right, bare minimum. That's like most companies.
Yeah.
Like especially, I get Juneteenth off, and I'm a nanny. Like,
I mean, I feel like when it comes to the union and Disney, like they don't really. I'm sorry, but they don't do much. They really don't do much. They don't really protect a lot of the cast members a lot of the time. When it comes to negotiations, Disney always wins. It's really tough for a lot of the cast members, because even right now in Disneyland, they were having the issue with the attendance policy, and the union couldn't really do anything about it. So you saw a ton of cast members essentially either quitting or planning to quit.
What was that issue?
So essentially, the attendance policy, there's a new attendance policy that kind of went into effect at the Disneyland Resort, where it's not as lenient. It is very strict. It's on a whole different new point system that's a lot more complicated, and even to the point where it's like you used to be able to take off like 5 days in a row for 3 points. Now each of those 5 days are 3 points.
Oh my God.
It's worse. It's way worse. And the hassle of having to work at Disneyland, you need to get to you need to be like 2 hours early to your shift if you want to make it on time. It's a hassle.
I didn't realize how
Magic Kingdom can be like that, but not 2 hours. It's like an hour for Magic Kingdom.
It's rough too. It's a hassle to work at Disney, and a lot of those perks that were there are just not there anymore. You can't even sign in your family.
That's
you can't
nuts.
even like really go into the parks as much as you want to anymore.
What's the point?
Exactly.
Like if you're just gonna treat it like working at the mall.
Exactly.
You're
like really having really high turnover right now. Like if you walk through Disneyland, you will see 5 training groups. Like it's crazy. Like they're training.
I actually did see
crazy. Yeah.
I saw one training group while I was there. I was actually surprised my friend was able to even sign me in for one of the days.
Yeah.
I was like, you can sign in still?
I'm surprised they have sign-ins right now, because like it's really crazy.
Same.
So yeah, like if I know it's bad over here in Disneyland, but I'm sure it's a lot tougher in Florida just because of the labor laws are a little bit different over there. Not as much protection.
we basically don't have them.
Yeah.
Like what is a labor law?
Yeah.
They said free labor, thank you. So yeah, like I'm sorry to the cast members out there. I hope y'all are doing good, survive, like praying for y'all.
Have y'all seen has anybody watched that documentary that Abigail Disney did called American Dream and Other Fairy Tales? You heard of
I didn't even know it was out
it.
yet.
Yeah.
So it's out. It's rentable, I think, on Amazon and iTunes and Vudu and all those things. So, but it's I know. Well, but at $6 for it's from what I hear, it's really great work. It's she's a documentary about the wage gap in our country, and it's using sort of Disney as the litmus test for it. Her own namesake company. I hear it's quite good. So maybe that will shed some light on some of these issues, like the.
Tremaine Talk actually just did a really good TikTok on it. I saw she was talking about homelessness and Disney cast members, and that is a huge problem that like not a lot of people even talk about. Like there were people that would literally sleep in the parking lots. Like it is a mess to be a cast member right now. Like it's not equal whatsoever, which I think kind of is really messed up considering the next topic is about price increases. So.
Well, and you really read my mind.
Yeah, right. That's a good segue. But it's also like you look at Florida and California, two of the most expensive places to live in the country. Orlando used to be cheap. When I moved there in the late 90s, it was like, it was $3/4 what I was paying in LA, and now it's the same, right?
It's the same.
It's just terrible. And in two places where hospitality and tourism jobs are so plentiful, but no one can live on those wages, it's just infuriating,
It's crazy.
It is wild. There's this ruling class that wants the servant class, and they want it accessible to them, and they want it where they are, but they don't want to pay for the servant class to be able to live where they are.
Nope.
And it's like,
they make it make sense.
It's just, it doesn't work. It's not going to work. It's going to fall apart. Everything's falling apart. But yeah.
Well, and that's why they're raising prices again.
Yeah.
Again.
So we already had tickets that change by date, right? We've had that for a while. But now we have Genie Plus and Lightning Line prices that change by date, right?
Yeah.
Correct. So they're no longer going to do like standard. They're going to do like very date based. So pretty much the minimum price is going to remain the same. It's going to start at $15. But you're going to see certain attractions on Lightning Lane prices go up. Like for example, the one that most people are looking at is that Rise of the Resistance is going to start at $15, but depending on the date you go, it could be $22 per person. And
Lord,
they did say that there's going to be a certain price for October and beyond, but it's subject to change up basically. So they said it was going to start at a certain price, but they could easily change that. So
imagine paying $22 for that attraction and getting spit on while you're walking in. Imagine that for a second.
You know what?
I don't know.
We'll get to that later. We'll get to that. That came out of nowhere, but we talked about it before the show. We'll talk about
it's gonna make sense later.
It'll make sense later.
Foreshadowing.
But has anybody used and paid for Lightning Lane?
I have.
Unfortunately,
not Genie Plus, but just individual.
No, my most recent visit,
yeah,
for
I did it
Radiator Springs.
Yeah, I did with friends that were first timers, and the park was really crowded, and I was like, all right.
It was the day I saw you, Janine. That was the day I used Lightning Lane. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've done it for Cosmic Rewind to be able to ride twice in one day, and then done it. I think about it every time. And then when I went with my parents and took them on Rise of the Resistance, and like my mom has mobility issues, like she can't, but she's not like in a scooter, like she's just like she can't hang in a long.
That line is long,
so like we just had to pay, and I guess maybe we could have done like a disability services thing, but that's an option.
That's too much of itself to do.
It's a hassle.
It's a hassle though.
Yeah,
it's a hassle, and like there's no guarantee.
Exactly.
That it's gonna make a difference. So
I mean, with the way that the lines are looking, you kind of have to pay. Like you really do. If you want to get on these lines,
Victoria said that the lines were like just as long.
Bruh, I went on a Monday. No, I went on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
In the line for what line did we get on? We got on Big Thunder Mountain. And literally the Lightning Lane was just as long as the standby line we were in.
No, for the not Genie Plus. I'm talking like for the Lightning Lane. Like for example,
no, for Lightning Lane, yeah.
No, because for Radiator Springs, for Rise, those rides, it's either waiting in a 140-minute line for cars or waiting the 25 minutes and paying those $18. So it's kind of just like, which one are you willing to do? Like, where are you willing to save the time and the money? And I think personally for me, I don't want to stand in a 1 hour and 40 minute. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Like,
it's for first timers. It's not for APs.
It's really not. And that goes back to that whole conversation of like they value guests with tickets versus, you know, pass holders because they're willing to pay that.
One thing I've noticed with like Rise, for instance, like the problem with Radiator Springs is just it's not huge capacity. It's a big ride, but it doesn't do huge numbers, which is why the lines are long. Rise in California, though, like I've noticed it. We were there last time I was there, but then I didn't pay for it. It said 70 minutes. And I was with first timers, and I'm like, actually, it should be shorter than that. And we got in line, and it was 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And part of me is like, are they counting it 70 minutes to actually stepping on the ride vehicle and using that as a smokescreen to sell more lightning lane passes?
They're definitely inflating the times.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them to just completely arbitrarily inflate the times.
Yeah, for sure. But it's like we got into we went into the pre-show with Ray at 45 minutes, and then when I stepped on the ride vehicle, I looked on my watch again, and it was like 70 on the nose from when I stepped in line.
Wow.
And it's like. Are they maybe it's maybe some weird semantic thing where they don't consider it the attraction in terms of weight, or that maybe it's heading off stupid guests who will complain that you told me that was going to be a 45-minute wait and we didn't get on that ride until an hour. It's like, well, but you were taken to a spaceship and then on outer space and then put in a cell, and then like there's so much going on, dude. That's but
and
maybe.
But even like Haunted Mansion Holiday, for example, like the posted wait time when I went, it was saying like 60, and we ended up waiting like almost like 2 hours. Like
that's not okay.
It was bad. Like
that's actually what happened to me. Like the
line was not moving. I literally
was not moving
so many times.
That's not moving.
A constant moving ride. Like I don't understand how it's because of the Genie Plus, because they just kept like letting in like lines of people, like tens of people at a time. But yeah, the price increases are it's a lot. It's getting very unaffordable. Like it's unaffordable. Like at this point,
y'all, Disney is just not fun. It's just not fun to go anymore.
No,
it really isn't. It really
bottom line, like it's just wild. I've been going for my whole life, and I'm just like, I never thought I would see the day.
I'll tell you the reason I was not going to re-up my pass, and I think the biggest reason I do is because I do have friends that come in from out of town who don't go very often, or every couple of years, and in some cases only they have never been, and so it's kind of my nerdy theme park duty to be the guy that takes them. So otherwise they're going to get a shitty experience. Like, I know I've sent friends when I couldn't make it, and they come back at the end of the day and said, oh, we went on like 4 things. I'm like, what? How did you not do more than that?
Which is nuts, because it's like $300.
Right. And it's proof that it is a gamed system, and you need to know how that game is played, or you do not have a good day at all.
Yeah.
So part of why I do it is because I want to make sure my friends go see the park that I love, but it ends up not being fun for me because I'm paying all this money and only going, 6 or 8 times this year, which technically pays for that pass. But I used to go like, 20, 30. I would go for an hour for dinner, but you just can't
literally
do that anymore.
Just be like, oh, hey, you want to go get lunch? Like at Disney, like it would just be a quick trip. Like it would, but now it's like, I got to plan it out like maybe a week or 2 in advance, if I even have that time.
And that's and then you got to get a reservation to even get in to start with.
Yeah, let's hope I get a reservation. I don't know.
Well, let's move on to Hollywood Studios. Now, we did touch upon Fantasmic briefly, that it's opening again on November 3rd, but let's talk about the new show scenes that are happening, and the dining packages, which I don't know how those work in Florida. Tell me how those work.
So I'll start with the show scenes. So pretty much, like, as I mentioned, they didn't really say they were taking anything out, but I'm kind of with Dave. I feel like they would have to take something out in order for the show to like flow cohesively and make sense. But they're gonna basically add an entire scene where we go on the journey with the heroes being Elsa, Aladdin, Pocahontas, which is why I'm assuming like Dave that they're taking out the Pocahontas scene from the previous one.
Don't forget Mulan.
Oh, Mulan and Mulan.
Yeah, and
okay.
And did you see they actually brought back Mimi Chan, who was the model that animators used for the actual film.
Yes,
cool.
for the martial arts scene. That's kind of cool.
Which is cool because, well, some people don't know, but where Star Wars Launch Bay used to be is Animation Academy, which is where Mulan was actually animated.
Done.
Oh, that's cool.
So it
all
came full
Mulan
circle.
And Lilo and Stitch.
And Lilo and Stitch. Yep.
I think the thing that pops out to me about that announcement about the new scenes that I love the most is they're going to use "Show Yourself" finally instead of "Let It Go" again. "Show Yourself" is a great freaking song. Praise Jesus that we're not hearing "Let It Go" again, because "Show Yourself's" a great song and it's like the best sequence in that movie.
Let It Go is gorgeous 10 years old now.
That's great.
It came out in 2012.
That's weird.
Wait, 2012 was 10 years ago? Stop it.
Yeah, that's when my son was born. It's disgusting.
Be right back. I'm just dissolving into dust.
Right there with you.
That math doesn't make sense because 2012, I was doing my college program and Brave and Wreck-It Ralph had just came out. That came out around the same time?
Let's see. Oh, actually, you know what? It was 2013. I'm sorry, guys. It was 2013.
Oh, wait.
Almost.
I was like fire. Yeah.
I was like, wait a second. It came out that year.
That's crazy. That came out like a year after Brave.
I know.
Oh. You know what's funny? I literally had an argument with my partner over the fact that I said "Show Yourself" is better than "Let It Go," and he like would not agree with me. And like he was like, "How could you say that? Let It Go was like the big cultural moment."
Well, he's
and I was
entitled to his wrong opinion.
I am with you on that one. I'm with you. I'm not a huge stan of Frozen 2 in general. I think it's a good movie. It just seems like it was such a we have to do a sequel to this.
Yeah.
I don't dislike it. I think there's a lot to like about it. But Show Yourself, because my problem with Let It Go is it peaks that entire movie at like the end of the first act.
Literally.
Structurally, Frozen is such a weird movie, and I think structurally Frozen 2 fixed it a lot. And Show Yourself happens at such the right, like both Anna and Elsa have the best songs for their characters at just the right moment in the third act, you know.
I totally agree.
Gorgeously animated scene as well, like literally brought me to tears, and it takes a lot for me to cry.
It just like fills you up with so much emotion. Like it's such a good song.
It's so right, and the double meaning of the lyric, and that it's like she's looking for someone to show themselves, and it's really about showing yourself.
Yes,
right. Like it's so emotional. I love it so much.
It's such a good song. Oh my gosh. Anyway.
All right. So what are the dining package?
So how dining package?
Frozen stand.
Right. Frozen 2 was a good movie. I'm sorry.
It was. I liked it. I didn't hate it.
And it talked about indigenous people, so it was amazing.
Right.
So right. It's like it's about damn colonizers.
Yes.
Which is great.
Amazing. Yeah.
Oh, we love that for Black Panther too, by the way. But But so how dining packages work essentially, you get lunch or dinner at one of the like only 4 restaurants at Hollywood Studios. Well, no, there's like 5.
So Brown Derby, probably.
Brown Derby, Mama Melrose, Sci-Fi,
Sci-Fi, of course, right?
That one where they have the Disney Junior characters going, and then the other one, they don't matter.
Right.
No one goes to them anyway. So you can either have lunch or dinner at any of these restaurants, and then you get reserved seating at Fantasmic, which is usually like the very center.
Yeah.
And
sorry, do you remember at Fantasmic California when they used to do they still do a dessert package, and you get seats right near the control booth.
Yeah.
But they used to do a dessert package where it was up in what used to be the Disney Gallery above Pirates.
Really?
And that tiny little balcony. There's that tiny little balcony on the right hand side. It's right above the bread bowl place. That tiny little balcony used to have seating, and you would get your dessert and watch the show from there, and it was the bomb. It was so good.
No wonder they took it away. That's too good.
Yeah, it was too good. It was really it was too pure for this world. Has anybody done the dining package in Florida? Money. Oh yeah, totally.
I have actually. I've done it for Fantasmic actually.
Would you say it's worth it?
I'm a fan of the sit down meals in most of the parks, and if I get a perk like this for it, it's,
might as well.
I I did it for my birthday. I did it for Mama Melrose, and then although in theory I should have did it for Brown Derby, but whatever.
Yeah.
It was at the time worth it. I don't know what it's gonna be like now, so I can't speak on it. But when I did it back then, I would say it was worth it. Yeah.
Okay.
We used to do it all the time for Carthay here for World of Color, because the you know what? Not anymore. It's really gone downhill.
Not anymore.
So
But
gone downhill.
Pre-pandemic, it was worth it.
Oh, it was worth it. It was
So
it was great, but it's just not. They took the firecracker duck wings off the menu. What?
No, what?
Yes, and the cheese biscuits gone.
Not the cheese biscuits.
Yes,
not the cheese biscuits.
The look. The cheddar, those cheddar jalapeno biscuits and the firecracker duck wings, which were the two best things on the menu, have been gone for the last 3 years.
Not them ripping off Red Lobster's recipe and then taking it away.
Go to the Red Lobster. They have daily deals.
Red Lobster's fine. It's much cheaper anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Moving to Magic Kingdom. Somebody passed out on the People Mover. Oh, this is tragic.
This is really sad. It's just sad.
Yeah, it was very unfortunate. So what happened this past September, there was a elderly gentleman, I'm not going to say his name because it's just out of respect for the family. He passed out on the People Mover. It just says September, I believe. His wife, got help and they came. They were very responsive, but according to Gabrielle Rousson of Florida Politics, he was taken to Celebration Hospital and they worked hard to revive him, but unfortunately he did pass away later on. He had a pacemaker, so he had like a blockage in his artery, which unfortunately caused him to pass out. And
it sounds like a lot. Not a result of the ride.
No.
Yep. Like he could have been at home in his recliner and unfortunately it sounds like his time was just up.
And that happens a lot on attractions.
Yeah.
Like, people that've got, diabetes or hypertension or other health issues. The ride doesn't necessarily cause it.
It just happens.
It just happens.
If you have that many people.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's bound to happen. Right.
And not even just that, like the stress of traveling in Florida, the weather, all
and
that.
Heat.
And Genie Plus.
Not hydrating.
The stress of Genie Plus.
The stress of planning a Disney vacation.
He couldn't, there was no app for his Jitterbug phone. That was the problem. He just could not download them. That's mean. Sorry. It's really tragic. It is very tragic. It's very sad.
It's really sad.
But it's also like, maybe your last moments were in a Disney park. Hopefully they were happy and not.
And like that's the thing. If I'm like with a loved one in like my favorite places on one of my favorite rides and I just go to sleep forever, like there's worse ways to go.
Yeah.
Like we like to have warning. Like it's great in a perfect world. You get an idea.
I mean, I would love, it's macabre, but I would love to get on the Haunted Mansion and come out the other side just peacefully asleep. That would like, that's a fitting end.
You're a fan of Victorian England, aren't you?
Right. I'll just get the consumption. I'll just
wow.
Not the consumption.
I'll cough into my handkerchief like Satine. Sorry.
Still stuck on consumption.
Oh Lord. All right. So, and then over at Epcot, I found this to be kind of shocking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shocking, but I mean, well, let me preface it is a rumor. So one of the projects that came out at D23, not this D23, but the last D23, was that they were going to have a play pavilion. And I believe there was a festival pavilion too, but I'm almost certain that actually got canceled.
That got officially canceled.
That's officially canceled. Okay, so.
Oh, the one in the center hub that was going to be like concert and festival space, right? That's not happening.
That big tree?
The big tree thing. Yes. Right.
Yeah, the big tree. Yeah, I thought that was where the statue was supposed to go, but I guess they changed. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So the word on the street is they're now saying that the play pavilion is going to be abandoned and they're not going to finish it.
Which is wild because it's like half made.
I hear from friends who work in construction on Disney projects. I literally got a text that day and said, the rumor's true. play is not happening. It's been shelved. And evidently the reason the general contractor is saying that the tech costs went through the roof because there was so much technology embedded in that building for all the various programs and interactives and things that it was not necessarily the most scenically or attraction wise complex things they've done, but there was a lot of tech in the building. And
I mean, realistically, looking on it now, not even technologically, but like aesthetically, it was already outdated within a year.
Well, that's why you shouldn't do nothing Wreck-It Ralph, just outdated.
Like literally everything in Wreck-It Ralph is outdated already.
Well, Dave, I have a quick question because like you've worked in the theme parks during the recession. So would you say that this upcoming recession is going to affect a lot of like the big projects that are coming up? For example, like things like Epic Universe, and then a lot of the projects that are happening in Disney as well, or no?
Yes and no. I think the big projects like Epic are going to happen, and there's money was put aside for that pre-COVID. A lot of the capital projects that are anything capital that was in progress and in the ground and like starting to go vertical will most likely be finished. Play hadn't really, like it was still, they were still clearing out shit. I had not really begun construction as far as I know. I maybe I'm wrong, and people can call me on that, but I thought it was not very far along. Because the other thing is, regardless of the recession, the spending on new development has stopped. That's why I lost my job, right? That's why thousands of people lost their jobs at WDI, because they just turned down that burner, and anything on the back burner is now not even on the menu. And it's just that's because they're saying that they have practically a year and a half to 2 years of operational profit and cost to make up for, and that translates into conservatively like 3 years of capital projects. So and for those who don't know, capital projects means everything from blue sky to building it, but that's the capital money goes into that every year to keep that machine going. Well, that machine's off for a while. And people say it's because of COVID. Some people say it's because they used COVID as an excuse, as an opportunity to amp up the moving WDI in Florida because they'll have less people. Yeah. And there's a lot of moving parts in why all of this is happening. But the recession is going to definitely affect it even more. So I would say the big projects like Epic will still go through. I don't think you're going to see a lot of cutbacks on that. You're not going to see like him cut a land to be phased later on. Comcast is all in, especially with those. You saw the numbers that came out with attendance numbers for parks that
Universal must be jazzed.
They are their shareholders are very, very happy right now.
So they are booked and busy in both parks. I was
and again, that's impressed. Because you can go to Universal and have a good time without having to worry about Genie Plus or an app. But it's like you can walk in the park any day you want, way cheaper.
It was so cheaper. Yeah. Like I had a phenomenal time at Universal, full stop, like literally so much fun.
What's your favorite thing at Universal, Victoria?
Which one?
Either one. Orlando specifically.
Orlando, I really enjoy Revenge of the Mummy at Studios and Velocicoaster at Islands.
Nice.
For Hollywood, I really loved the tram tour because I'm a slut for
Oh, I love the tram tour.
The tram tour is fun.
The tram tour was so fun.
When I got to see The Good Place, that was so
when I got to see The Good Place,
Isn't
I wish
that great?
you saw my face. And then I was like, that's why they shot Dilemma.
Dilemma. Classic.
But
I do love that.
It was very
coaster. My soul left my body numerous times on that ride. Crazy. So bye Play Pavilion. We'll see what's kind of Epcot. Is slim pickings. We'll see what ends up landing there.
I mean, a statue. It seems like.
So statues that make noise when you wave your Magic Band Plus next to them.
For the low price of $50.
I don't want to be too hard on. I mean, it's easy to share. I have friends who worked on that project, so I'm actually really excited to play the Bounty Hunters because that looks like a lot of fun.
Me too. Yeah,
I heard Bounty Hunters was fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'll buy it for that because again, capitalism. But let's move
the Bounty
from
Hunters. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's a layer of interactivity that uses Magic Band Plus. in Galaxy's Edge, and it's
Do you have
not,
to have with the app like a phone thing?
Yeah, you need a phone. You need an app. No, it works just with the band.
With the band, yeah.
Yeah, it works just with the
Really?
band. Yeah.
I think the app supports it in terms of like your reputation score and all that other stuff you can do when you're grinding on the data pad. I think it connects to the data pad. I'm not sure. The coolest thing I saw on Twitter was this guy I follow who is a Disney animator, Bruce. He's a big Star Wars nerd, and he built 3D printed a little box to put his Magic Band Plus a puck in, and it looks like the tracker from season 1 of The Mandalorian.
That's cool. That's
Oh.
fun.
That's
Yeah, it's super nerdy cool. I was
Good
like,
for him.
right.
how much can I pay you to make me one of those? That's really cool.
He could start a whole
All right.
Etsy shop off of that. Tell him.
Totally. That's what I told him. That's what I told him.
Yeah, tell him to get on that. Okay.
Yeah.
But we're getting ahead of, actually, let's keep talking Magic Band then, because we're moving on to Disneyland. So
Yeah.
Magic Band was just introduced to Disneyland, right?
Yes. So they were just introduced. Well, not yesterday for you guys, but yesterday for us. Last week. So they are officially at Disneyland. Magic key holders can purchase them right now. They'll be officially out on the 26th, I believe, for everybody. And there's not a whole lot you could do with them at Disneyland. They're cute. We have 5 exclusive Magic Bands, one for Disneyland, one for DCA, one for Magic key holders, and then 2 other kind of cute ones. But they range from about $35 to $60 depending on the design. You can get $10 off of the Magic key one only, and I think your discount also applies on top of that.
Okay.
But the cool part is, the bounty hunter game. That seems really fun. That seems really interesting. The way that you get into the park with them looks ridiculous. It's not even.
Oh yeah,
saw.
people were complaining about
It was so
line.
stupid.
But here's the
I've
thing.
definitely entered the park like that before.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, go ahead, Dick.
I know everybody wanted the tap points and stuff,
Yeah.
but they spent so much on that infrastructure, and I'm not surprised that because here's the thing. The mobile devices that the turnstile people have, they're already using those. They use them for regular tickets and your Magic key and everything. So it's like, I'm not surprised that they didn't spend money to put it in permanently, because that tech changes. The stuff they put in the turnstiles for Magic Bands is old now.
It is, yeah.
So people were ragging on it, like, oh, look how stupid. And I was like, doesn't bother me.
No,
whatever.
I really do understand why it is the way that it is, but I wanted something different. I wanted something
looks
cool,
janky, yes.
like something
I wanted
that
it to
makes
look cooler.
you feel like you actually have the Magic Band experience, because you can't even buy nothing with it. You can't even
wait,
you can't buy nothing right
use
now.
it for pay.
You can't buy it.
No, you
can't
never
use
could.
it for pay right now.
You can't use it for pay.
I think if you were staying in a hotel,
Only for hotels,
Right.
In
but
Disney-
not even
Yeah.
at Disneyland
For-
right now.
yeah.
It's not connected to the hotels, so you can't even do that.
wow.
Oh, that does remind me though. If you have one that you got from Disney World, you can use it at Disneyland, but you have to disconnect it from your Disney World account and then add it to your Disneyland account.
That's too much work.
That's
just buy a
nuts.
new one.
Oh my god.
And I was like, I'd rather just buy a new one.
Yeah, just buy a new one. There's this really cute
I mean, you're
Tiana
still
one.
gonna
It was
have-
like $60.
Wait,
You still
there's
got
a
to
Tiana one?
That's
Yeah, it's on the
there's a
website.
Tiana one.
It's pink and it's so cute,
Oh,
but it's the most expensive one. Anti-black.
Sorry,
But-
that reminds
That
me.
is-
I
yeah.
went into the shop.
That's racist.
And it looks
That is
so
Yeah.
cute.
racist.
That's racist. Oh, you went into the shop? Oh my god.
I went into the shop.
It's
It was
so cute. Oh my gosh. Me and
Oh,
Dave
yeah,
went
that-
into the shop. So
we went into the
fun.
shop. I shot a bunch of video. I was gonna make a TikTok for our new
Yeah.
TikTok that has nothing on it, but you can go at us if you want. I have yet to do that because I'm a lazy mofo. But we shot some really cute. We were cute on video.
We were
like,
so cute.
We were cute.
We were real cute.
Yeah.
So I will hopefully
we'll get there
maybe
soon.
have that in time for the next episode. Who knows?
We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Magic Band Plus, it is live. You can go get your little Magic Bands. Are we all gonna get them for the aesthetic? Absolutely. I'm sorry, capitalism really popped off with it. The designs are cute. We're gonna get them.
We're gonna get
Okay.
that. We get the interactivity during Fantasmic and World
Yes.
of Color. You get nighttime.
Yes.
It
That's
lights
fun.
up.
Yeah.
Which is fun and better, to be honest, better than the ears, because
Yeah.
you can't see your own ears light up. Like I always thought that was a weird
That's
design.
true.
And the wand.
I thought about that. Yeah.
The wands
Mhm.
sold much better because kids could see them in front of their
Mhm.
face, right? You know.
Mhm.
So you can do it for that, and then Bounty Hunter Galaxy's Edge Bounty Hunters looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I watched the video of it online. It's very extensive. There's like, doors that you punch in codes and use your little thing, and then like the peekaboo will slide open on the door, and there's a face of an alien. It's like
that's fun.
It's like a monitor with CG rendering, but it's still like a character is there talking to you.
That's
and
fun.
I was like, they actually
that's what should have been there since day one.
That
should have been there since day one. That's all we got to say about
that. Makes me want to go back to the parks and bring the boy and like. Yeah, that's something that I would buy.
Like I would opened.
Yeah.
You guys just sold me on a Magic Band Plus.
Awesome.
Well, I'll be getting one.
Capitalism.
Capitalism.
So what's this about Trader Sam's?
Yeah. So if you love Trader Sam's, which we all do, there's going to be a mixology seminar, including a tiki mug. And it's currently opening up for reservations at the Disneyland Hotel for the 24th of October for the cheap price of $159.
What a steal!
Before tax and gratuity.
For you to teach me how to bartend and put it in a tiki mug?
When you could buy a drink for $20. But the souvenir mug is where they get you for $40. So it's a lot. So if you want to, it's a cool.
There are hors d'oeuvres.
Thing.
Oh, there are hors d'oeuvres?
Yeah. There are hors d'oeuvres.
Yes. Okay. Hot and cold tray passed hors d'oeuvres. So you can hang out and drink your mixology thing. But yeah, you could do that.
Is it a limited edition souvenir cup?
It doesn't say.
I'm fine with hors d'oeuvres. If you feed me, I'll be fine.
But for $159,
I mean, what kind of hors d'oeuvres are we talking about?
Hot and cold.
Hot and cold.
And courtesy of Ralph Stuhlmeyer.
Executive chef of the Disneyland Hotel.
And it says that the special tiki mug is not yet released to the public, so it doesn't say it's exclusive to this event. It's just not out yet. So maybe it'll be available later. Who knows?
Yeah, they're not making any promises.
But it seems like a fun vacation thing. You know how like when you go on vacation and you sign up for like those like excursions?
They have it at one of the hotels. They have it at Coronado Springs, like a sangria.
I don't think my brother listens to this podcast. I don't think so. He might. There's a very good chance that my concern is I want to get this for him and his boyfriend because his boyfriend collects tiki mugs. They're also both enormous Disneyland nuts. And
it's on Monday. It's Monday the 24th. At 4:30 and 7.
Yeah, that's very soon.
Oh man,
it's a cool thing. It's a cool idea.
I want to get sold out. I can't afford it, but I want to get that for them. I think that would be so much fun.
I can check.
Check.
Oh,
travel agent. We got our own.
It says the tiki mug will likely be released to the public 2 days later on October 26th.
That makes
don't
me
wait for the
less
tiki
inclined.
mug.
So I'm paying for early access?
Yeah. And you can book it on the Disneyland app. So if you Janine, if you want to download the Disneyland app and try it there.
I'm sure I have it.
I mean, I am looking it up as I speak. Because homies help homies.
Nathan is loving this section.
Nathan's like, what the hell's going on today? Like
real fast and loose. The cat is gone and the mice will play.
So moving on, we talked about lightning lane jumping, but my goodness, Disneyland's is even more expensive.
Yes. So Rise of the Resistance, the individual lightning lane used to be $20 and now it is $25. Definitely a huge increase. And this kind of falls in line with all the other price increases that have come up. I feel like $25 is a lot. It's really a lot. And
I mean, that's $100 for a family of 4.
Yeah, and when you compare that to also how Genie Plus, when you got the Magic Keys, we were told that it was going to be a 25% off of future Genie Plus purchases, but they raised the price, so technically it's the exact same price that it was before.
Oh my god!
I feel like is that legal? Like, is that not grounds for like suing? I feel like that's like a scam to tell somebody, oh, we're gonna keep it this price and you guys get a special discount, and then we're gonna raise the price literally less than a month after all the people renewed their passes.
That's
I don't
nuts.
It's sold out to me.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
sold
it
out?
is
Okay.
sold out.
I can't afford it anyway. I don't know who I'm kidding.
She said, "Who do I think I
It's
am?"
$300 for 2 people. That's a
Yeah, no, I mean, my brother is worth it, but I just don't have it.
Aw.
That's
Does he
nice.
live out here?
Yeah, he's in LA.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah,
we should
Yeah.
meet up at Tiki Bar. Tell him to give him my info. I would
I
love
will
to hang out. That'd be fun.
absolutely. Yeah, he actually. This is awful, but he, when Nathan put his call out for people who were interested in being on this podcast, he
Yeah.
applied.
Hey.
Oh no, and
And then he met
what?
with Nathan, and and I guess he decided me instead because he wasn't gonna have like a brother sister duo. But
Ah!
yeah,
What?
yeah.
Well, okay, then what we need to have him as a
My-
we need to have him as a sub. We
He
need to have him
should come
like
in. He has an amazing podcast. It's currently
does
like
he?
yeah, it's a Jurassic Park podcast.
Give him a shout out.
Yeah,
What is
it's
it?
Neo Jurassic.
Oh my god.
It started out exploring the science of Jurassic Park and like what ifs and de-extinction and things like that, and talking like really fascinating people who are working in de-extinction.
Oh my God.
And now it's going into more of like a storytelling route,
Pretty
which is really
cool.
exciting. Yeah.
That's rad. That's rad.
Yeah.
We have to have him on.
Ooh.
Let's talk
Yeah,
to
he
him
does
about
need
that.
to come. Yeah, we do need to get him on. I would
we need to get him on.
113. Is this who it is? Neo Jurassic?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Oh, he's got quite a few episodes. 113.
Yeah. The Neo
All right,
Jurassic
moving on.
podcast.
So, Werewolf by Night. Who did you get? Did you watch it? I watched it.
I did.
I haven't watched it yet.
You guys are
was-
asking me if I've watched something.
No,
It was so good.
it's really good. It's a black and white
Oh, I
short
remember hearing
feature.
about this.
It's like
looked
it's like
really
an hour
good.
long. It's Marvel's like homage to the Universal monster films. It's funny. It's got a lot of action. It's quite gory, surprisingly.
I was
And
very
they get-
surprised at the gore.
But they get away with it because it's black and white. So it's not it's
Ooh.
not gory like it's just way more violent than you've seen in a Marvel movie, but they get away with it because the tone is sort of campy, funny,
Oh,
adjacent.
like Bruce
And-
Campbell.
and it's
kind
canon.
of on not quite that like crazy, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's super entertaining. It's really, really great.
It was
really
beautifully
enjoyed it.
done.
But the characters are now showing up in adventure camp. It's evidently they're werewolf. They had show up on the top of the building, like howl at the moon, and
It was
yeah.
so cool.
That's so much
And
fun.
Elsa's meeting as well. I believe she has
Yeah.
the bloodstone with her.
Yeah. It looks really great. It looks, people's like, oh, Adventures Campus is just character meet and greets. I kind of like, especially for locals, that they're doing that kind of thing. I mean, it would be more fun if I didn't have to make reservations every time I go to the park and I could just drop in and see those characters like I used to. But the intent is there, so And then
it keeps
the other
it fresh because there's not
Yeah.
much going on over there. So I'll take the characters.
no, yeah, right. Until we get an e-ticket, it's
Right.
Yeah,
And
I
then
was
the
like
other
sitting
big-
there looking at it, and I was like, "Where is it gonna go?" I was like really looking at.
It's
the
supposed to be
building,
in
like-
that big ass building, but where?
No, that's what I'm saying. I was like, "Where?" Like
I don't know. That's like I said.
Like,
That's the
is
cast
the-
member break room for the time being.
That's why I was so confused.
So and the other big character thing that's happening is a cool Black Panther celebration, which is from like almost 2 months, right? It's
Yeah, it's
November through January.
Yeah, it's very exciting. So this was just recently announced. They're gonna have a Black Panther. They're gonna have a Black Panther Wakanda Forever celebration at Avengers Campus, and it's really cool. They're gonna have M'Baku, who is one of the characters in the movie. He's going to be a walk around character, and there's also going to be kind of like a little show called The Way of the Jabari, which celebrates his clan. So that's really exciting. I'm guessing it's going to be similar to the other shows that are there. And there's also going to be a food area as well, like a Flavors of Wakanda marketplace, where there's going to be lots of different food from traditional African dishes, which is so exciting because
I think that's so
love
neat.
that.
good.
I
Yes,
love that they did that.
Yep.
because we were supposed to get that for the Festival of the Lion King 2 or 3 years ago. There was supposed to be an actual like food festival, but they never went through with that. So to see that they're going to be doing this for Wakanda Forever is very exciting. And oh my god, the chicken and the jollof rice looks so good.
I know, it looks so delicious.
So good.
Oh, they're doing it at Disneyland Paris too. I see. That's awesome.
Oh, really?
Disney
Yeah,
World
says at the very end how Disneyland Paris will also be celebrating the Black Panther story. Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's cool.
I love that.
There's the Mississippi.
Yeah.
And our position east of it.
I'm excited. I think it's going to be a very fun, like, little event. And the more that we can get of these really cool experiences and just having more flavors and more characters and just a bunch of different things kind of coming into the park, I'm all for it. Oh, and there's also going to be a celebration garden to honor the legacy of Black Panther as well. So I can't wait for that. I feel like just seeing that is gonna make me cry. So I'm just excited. I'm
so jealous.
It's super cool. I'll make a TikTok for you guys of it. So
I'm very interested to see where this lays out, because they're talking about like it's in the Hollywood backlot and it's adjacent to the Avengers campus. So I don't know, maybe I'm thinking maybe the queue for the theater, maybe they took that whole
like, you know, that little dining area. I'm guessing that's where that would make the most sense for where they would put that little festival area. They
said they also have some like props and costumes from the movie on display in downtown Disney next to the Star Wars whatever,
and a mural as well too downtown. So cool. That'll be really cool. Yeah, so
exciting.
Yeah.
That sounds wonderful. I love that.
Yeah. So that's a big movie coming up and I can't wait for it. But other Disney film and TV news, this was awesome to hear that Harrison Ford is joining the MCU. Did you read about this? Oh, this
So
makes me
cool.
so happy. He's
man.
replacing William Hurt. So William Hurt is who played Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross in the Captain America movies. He of course passed away, and so Harrison Ford is taking over for that role, which is exciting. I think he'll be a fun addition, just like Robert Redford in there. It's nice seeing some of our older action stars and big names like that, and even if they're small roles, it's fun to see him pop up. Did you see though that he was at D23 and he had an interaction backstage with Ki Hai Kwang, who had not seen him in 30 years.
Yes,
I
since the
love
movie.
That after
That's adorable.
we recorded the podcast and I learned about Ki Hai Kwang. I can't remember his name. I knew it at one point, but because I went down the rabbit hole and I watched every YouTube video and read every art interview. Like, I love that story. I love his story. I cannot remember his name right now but I loved that. And so seeing that right after, I thought that was so great.
Warmed my heart.
Yeah, it was very wholesome. Like he said, he went backstage to see him, and he said Harrison Ford turned to him and like scowled at him like Indian, pointed and said, "Are you short round?" And then like ran over and gave him a big hug. And I'm like, so pure and wholesome.
I love
so cute.
that so much.
Yeah,
that's what it's for. That's what things like that's.
Wait, so how does this affect Indiana Jones? Because they definitely didn't say nothing about that at D23.
I don't it's a small role, so I don't think it'll take up a bunch of his time. You know what I mean? William Hurt wasn't in very many scenes in even in the movies he was in, so it'll be probably a couple days shoot or something. In other Marvel news, though, we have a bunch of MCU Phase 5 and 6 cancellations and delays, which is very interesting.
Hurts my feelings.
The one that hurts the most is Blade is being shut down for a while because the director Bassam Tariq, and he left. They didn't say why, and they just said that the script needed further work. Originally they said it was a short delay, that it was going to resume production in January, but it's been like they're moving the movie all the way to September 2024, so it's not going to happen anytime soon. I'm disappointed, but at the same token, I'm like, get the script right. I get it.
Do it right. Nope, don't just force it.
Yeah,
it's just unfortunate because it pushed everything else back. Like,
But in a weird
Like-
way, I'm kind of glad that they did that. 'cause
Right,
It just
like,
kind of,
yeah.
it all felt so overwhelming to have
It
like
needed
5 of
room
those
to
movies.
breathe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That
Like-
chokehold it had on me. My God.
But like
Yeah.
six
just-
movies on the slate are changing
Mhm.
their release dates. That's one of them. That booted Deadpool by about 2 months from September to November that year. But that date was originally going to be Fantastic Four, which now shifts to February 14th, 2025, which drags the start of Phase 6 into 2025. And then Secret Wars jumps from November to May. Avengers Kang Dynasty is the only thing that's currently staying in its May 2nd, 2025 date. But then there's, so far untouched Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, The Marvels, Captain America New World Order, and Thunderbolts. Those seem to be all happening, but it sounds like everything past that. And I agree with you guys. I think everything needed some breathing room. It was just
Yeah.
it was
It
too
really
much happening
did.
at once. And if it's affecting the quality of the development, then
Mhm.
good.
Let those CGI people get a break. Like they need a
Seriously.
break.
Let them be with their families and sleep.
Let them be with their families.
Yeah, let them
Marvel
be
was
some
holding
PTO
them
time. God
hostage.
damn, the way that they're racking up those hours.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah, I mean the way that global warming is looking. I hope we get to see those movies. I don't even know if we'll make it.
I know,
I don't even know
right?
if we'll make it.
Or the
I
next
was shook when I
pandemic.
got there.
The next pandemic. I don't know if we'll make it that far, but yeah, we need some breathing room. So that's good.
Yeah, seems like, what does it say? Loki, Ironheart, Daredevil, and Coven of Chaos will be affected, which is fine because, like y'all said, breathing room.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with this.
I don't want to
would-
delay on Loki season 2.
I could do with
Yeah.
a delay.
That's the one thing that I watch. Everything else
It
will
was
go to
That's
hell.
right. That's right.
I liked
that's right.
Loki.
I liked Loki for the aesthetic. I thought it was like really, really pretty.
No, that's my
Yeah, and the
I love
50s
that.
vibe. I
I
love
want-
that.
I
Anything
love
with the
that. Help someone,
50s vibe,
like-
you got me. I will drop everything to watch. Like,
Yes.
you know?
Oh, so you love Marvelous Miss Maisel then?
I love the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I love that show.
I love that show
Such
so
a good
much.
show. Yeah.
Love that show.
She needs to be in the Marvel universe. What's her name?
She does.
Yeah. What's the actor's name that plays Ms. Maisel? I forget her name.
I forget her name.
Oh, good.
I know
She's
who
so great.
plays. I know the woman who plays
Rachel Brosnahan.
Rachel
Yes.
Brosnahan. Thank you.
Rachel.
She would be so great.
She would be really
a
good in the
Marvel movie.
MCU.
She's so witty and quick, and I just like
Right.
I love that
Ew,
about her.
she's younger than me.
How old is she?
Ew.
How old is she?
She's 32.
She's 2 years
Ew.
older than
Ew.
me? Good for her.
Man,
That was the best reaction ever. Ew. Um,
I just don't like that.
I hear you, but you know what? Get off my lawn. All of you are children. I have socks older than most of you.
Not socks.
So
Wait. the woman
This
who
says
plays
more
her
about you
man-
than us.
that sounds like a you problem, Dave. Yeah.
You keeping socks for that long, Dave?
Wait, did you
Oh.
guys know that the woman who plays her manager is Lois Griffin?
Yes. That's
I didn't know that.
yeah.
I don't know why
forget-
that's. I didn't connect that.
Forget her name. I'm so bad with actor names, but yes.
Alexandria
she's,
Borstein.
Borstein,
Yeah.
Alex Borstein.
I
yeah.
love her character.
She's
in
so
Marvelous
great.
Mrs. Maisel. She is
Yeah.
the best part
Great.
of that show
Yeah.
for me.
You know what? Just bring
Stop,
both of
she
them
was
as
the lady in Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah.
I
Bring
didn't know that.
bring both of them into the Marvel movies as those characters. Like that's
Also,
what I
she
want.
was in
Keep
the
them
Bad
the
Guys
same.
movie, which was
Oh, yeah.
my son's favorite movie.
That was a good movie. I
I
want to
love
watch
The
that.
Bad
It was,
Guys.
It was a
good.
good movie.
He
Really
I loved
good.
it.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other big
Still
thing,
off
and
topic.
this should make
Black
the theme
Castle
park
reads
nerds-
IMDb.
this is the next big movie development that's very interesting is they're taking. Do you guys know about the Society of Explorers and Adventures,
Mhm.
SEA?
Heck yeah,
So
I
it's-
do.
So it's this for the listeners who don't know, and our listeners probably all do because they're all nerds. It's and I mean that lovingly. I love all of you, but it's this weirdly underground sort of backstory to a bunch of the attractions in Disney parks, and it sort of started with Disney Sea, and it loosely connects sort of unofficially a bunch of attractions and storylines in the parks together. Well, they're developing a film to sort of make that canon now, which I think is really great. The writer of Strange World the director of Strange World is writing it, and Ryan Reynolds production company is producing it. So which means I hope it has some sort of loosey-goosey funny, like Jungle Cruise kind of action humor,
Yeah.
But what's great about that show. And what's great about the SEA backstory is that it is about two sides of exploration. You have the camp that does it for wonder and knowledge, and you have the camp that does it for power and control. So it's a anti-colonial story in its own way, because it's about finding all of these lost civilizations and all these things all over the world that are mythological, finding out they're real. And so it could be a lot of fun. This made me very excited. I hope it stays. It's the thing is, though, I'm cranky and old about the attraction to movie pipeline, because they announced stuff a long time ago. Big Thunder was we talked about this a few months ago.
Yeah.
Big Thunder was going to be a TV series, and Space Mountain was going to be a thing. And I'm talking, these were announced in like the late 90s, early aughts, like a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it's now that they found a formula, maybe it's got a better a formula in terms of movies like Jungle Cruise and the ones that have made it. So maybe it'll be good. I don't know. What's your take?
I think this one's like very niche. So
Yeah,
I don't know if it'll ever really make it that far. I hope it makes it somewhere, because those are my favorite types of movies. Like I love like the archaeological, like adventure Atlantis movies. So like I hope
I love the idea of having a new take on the adventure category, like an Indiana Jones that's like from the get-go anti-colonialist.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that would be really great. I think that's what we're lacking. I think we really need that sort of like, you can have adventure and be anti-racist. Like, you don't have to be a stick in the mud. Like,
and
you can have fun.
I hope that in the next indie movie, he makes up for his line in one of the originals where he says, "This belongs in a museum," because that's the problem. They don't belong in museums. They belong back with their original cultures. So
yes, please.
I hope they sort of write something in to wink at that. It would be really great if they did.
I think that, like, based on his presentation at D23, where he was like highly emotional on stage, I think that we're gonna see something come full circle on this one. Like I feel like it's gonna be emotionally resonant. Like I think that it's gonna I think it's gonna patch a lot of that up. I
hope so.
And it'll probably be, I wonder, the biggest question for me is it a passing of the torch to a new indie? Because that was the rumor for Indy 4, was that Shia LaBeouf was going to be the next one, and that movie kind of didn't do as well as they had hoped, and not Shia LaBeouf, please. That movie, there are moments of it that I like, but there's a lot of it that's just not great. So I think this is a chance for them to redeem the franchise in a really good way. So we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
The other this is also very sad, related to Disney, because she was the voice of Mrs. Potts. Dame Angela Lansbury passes away at 96. What a career for this lady. Can you imagine? I was really lucky that I got to meet her once. When I sang with used to sing with the Gay Men's Chorus of LA, which is like 150 voice chorus, and we did concerts all year round, and we did she came and sang a song at one of our shows for one of our charity shows, and we met her backstage, and she was as lovely as you'd expect.
I'm gonna cry.
I almost cried meeting her. She was so lovely. She's exactly what you wanted to be. But yeah, she was, if you haven't seen online, it's easy to find. There's old behind the scenes footage of her recording Be Our Guest.
I was just going to bring that up.
Yeah, that went viral on Twitter after she passed.
It is so pure. She is having so much fun recording that.
Yeah.
And then you also heard all these stories about how, like, on Murder, She Wrote, that was, she was already like, what, 60, in her 60s, maybe. No, when was 80s. So she was like late 50s, early 60s. She would hire all these older actors in Hollywood to guest on that show so that they would keep their health care.
Wow.
Like she literally brought in a lot of old actors who had sort of aged out of the system and weren't being cast on things so that they would retain their benefits. Like
through the guild. Yeah.
Through the guild.
You have to keep working for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
She's a saint. I mean, come on.
She's like my grandma. Like I remember, like my grandma watched Murder, She Wrote, and my grandma looks like Angela Lansbury, and she's like roughly around the same age. So she's always been like my second grandma. Yeah, that one hurt.
And she's a Disney legend. She became a Disney legend in 1995, and shortly after Beauty and the Beast. So
that was well earned.
Oh, good for
a true legend.
She should have.
Yeah.
Really. Like her and Debbie Reynolds was rough. That was a rough time.
Yeah. Anyway, Godspeed, Dame Lansbury. You are one of the good ones, and your legacy is so how lucky are we to have that legacy of entertainment to keep watching the rest of our lives? Like she's
like
just
80 plus years, 80 years,
incredible, 80 years of thing, unbelievable,
amazing.
If you've never seen The Manchurian Candidate, the original, she is. And talk about like not what you know of her as kindly old grandma. Like,
no,
that's a wicked role. It's really great.
Like you wouldn't even recognize her.
No, I have to see that. I haven't seen anything ever.
Good. It's so
I gotta watch that.
You never watch anything. Come on.
I don't have time. I'm at work full time. I'm in school full time.
Like, who are you?
She barely made it today.
I barely made it today. I wrapped up a lab and was like, I can do it.
So that's actually your cue, Janine. We're going to move on to other theme parks and what kind of strange, wacky news do we have coming out of Japan?
Yeah. Apparently,
speaking of dead people.
Yeah, this is real weird. I'm not fully comfortable with the segue. I feel like we are
blame Nathan.
Dishonoring.
He put this right before. Yeah.
Nathan, come on. All right. So, Universal Tokyo found some groundskeeper found the remains of a human man who had passed away approximately 2 years ago and has just been languishing on Universal property
in the bushes near the entrance,
shrubbery near the entrance for 2 years.
Osaka, by the way, not Tokyo. Osaka.
Oh, sorry, Osaka.
Yeah, that's okay. Universal Japan. Universal Japan.
Japan's just
this is bonkers. And like
real bonkers.
They said the remains like had his clothes nearby, but they were not on him.
Yeah, they said that they had to find a cadaver dog to find, quote, the rest of the skeleton. Because initially they only found like a part of his jaw.
Gross.
Yeah, apparently he was like
crazy
in his 50s or 60s. They don't have any evidence of like trauma. So I don't know if this is just I don't know.
So no foul play.
Like, tell us your fan theories. What do you think happened to this man who found his way into some shrubbery and then decomposed?
They said he was 60 or 70, and they said there was no sign of trauma. So is it one of those things where it's like no? Well, you don't know.
People moved it into the bushes.
Maybe maybe he just
and then he was alone and his family just left him.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I mean,
I don't know. Maybe like a cat.
I mean, someone might have been looking
crawling
for him.
into the porch. Who knows?
Japan's aging population, the way that's going over there might not be anybody looking for him. Like,
oh god, that's
so
dark.
That's
dark. I don't like
it. It is dark.
It's very dark. This is a very weird
very
episode.
Dark.
Very very Halloweeny episode. But
you said it earlier, like there are worse places to go, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
He didn't even make it in.
And his clothes were off. Like I don't understand. That's
that
the
I
weird
think is
part.
2 years of decomposing,
and that's why I'm saying I feel like it's foul play somehow.
Migrating.
Because why was his clothes not with him?
And okay, if it's 2 years, that is the middle of 2020 when the park was closed.
True.
See, foul play. I'm telling you, it's foul.
I gotta look at
good point, Dave.
I gotta look and see when it reopened.
See,
because they
the
were
true
closed
crime
for a while.
side of my brain is working now.
I feel like maybe because they were saying that some of the bones were kind of like scattered around. So maybe it was like kind of like animals kind of just like
okay. That could be animals.
That could
for
be animals.
Sure. Especially over 2 years, and especially if they were closed for an extended period of time and there wasn't like high traffic or anything.
I feel like, yeah, we do forget that like Tokyo or just Japan in general just
Osaka.
recently opened up.
They only just
So-
opened up like 2
Yeah, they
weeks
were like the
ago.
last. Yeah.
So they were closed from February 29th, 2020 and reopened on June 8th, 2020. So they weren't closed that long.
Long enough to hide a body.
Long enough to hide a body.
Yee, for real.
But then you had to take into account the smell of decomposition.
That's a really good point, Victoria, because like you can
I'm telling you, the true crime part of my brain is
like if a
working.
raccoon dies
Yep, I
around the
solved the
corner,
case.
like you know that.
Yeah.
Like,
And he
like the animals will scatter that stuff, and if animals were affected, you'll see the scratch marks on the bones of the remains.
Well, and
There'll also be.
But the thing about that park, and especially the entrance where they found him, the thing to know about that park is it's not like there's not a lot of landscaping. It literally is kind of a structure. No, it's like you know how Magic Kingdom is technically built on top of a parking garage, like how right? Okay, Universal Japan is built on landfill or in Osaka, like right on the water, and so the offices and operations are sort of underneath the entrance plaza in a way. The land of the park evidently flattens out and all becomes on ground, but they built the entry structure has City Walk and a hotel and operations and an entry plaza, and it's all kind of part of a building. So it's not like there's a lot of grass and trees and stuff there. It's all planters. So it's very odd to me that would happen there. Well, that's why there's probably not a lot of animal activity on the body,
especially with the water being
there.
right there, because one would automatically think to dump them
How
in
did they
the
find
water.
him? How did that happen?
A groundskeeper was like trimming the
Groundskeeper.
trees and was like, "Is
Yeah,
that a
found him.
jaw?" And yes,
Yeah,
it was
gross.
a jaw. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
creepy.
it was a jaw.
Well,
I'm gonna look into this. Further.
One of the theme park podcasts is going to turn into a true crime podcast for this. I guarantee you.
Oh,
I
for
have
sure.
a feeling if Victoria has her way.
Pitch it to Nathan. It's a special edition of Rat Castle After Dark.
I feel like
like
there's
that-
so much weird things that happen in the parks. There could totally be like a whole true crime
Give me
segment.
my spin-off.
Yes,
We gotta do that.
we gotta do that. I mean,
That's
it'll
kinda
be like it
cool.
wouldn't launch until we're gonna be releasing. No, are we gonna release an episode on Halloween? Time is
I
weird.
think this
Time
is
is
the
hard.
Halloween episode.
I think no.
No, because this is gonna be
No.
out the week before, and then we're not gonna be recording that. Nope. So yep.
Yeah,
We're
so the week
pitching.
after.
I say we
Pitch it. I think people
Everyone
should
just
Pitch it.
finds
like
one
if you
case.
have like a spooky theme park anecdote,
We should make a
send that to us. We
Ghost
want
stories
to
of theme parks.
explore your theme park ghost story.
like a
I think
case.
that would be
Nathan, make
blast.
this happen. Rat Castle After Dark. This is going to
Make
happen.
it a
Yeah.
I
spin-off.
love it.
Spin-off. Moving to Universal Hollywood, we had some very interesting news there that some concept art leaked for a new attraction, right?
Yeah. Is this new concept art? I feel like
Yeah.
I thought I heard that it had been seen before.
I heard it was already seen, but then I heard this was new, and I
Maybe
don't know
there's like a
what's the
mix of
truth.
both. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what the
Yeah,
truth
I
is.
don't know. But
New to us. How
anyway,
about that?
new to us. I had
Yeah.
not
New to us.
personally seen this before.
Me too. Yeah.
Fast and the Furious coaster is mocked up at least for Universal Studios Hollywood. Apparently, it's similar to. I mean, it's an outdoor coaster, but the mechanism is reported to be similar to the Gringotts ride and maybe constructed by the same theme park company, Intamin.
Cool.
So,
Yeah,
Ooh,
Intamin.
Intamin never misses.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. So I honestly, I've never not seen a single Fast and Furious movie in my life.
The
But
first,
I-
Stop
the
at
first
five.
two are great, and then they get really dumb, and then they get better because they're even dumber. Like by the time you
They just lean
by the
into
time
it.
That's the best way to describe it. Yeah.
like
I
3,
mean-
4, 5, but like 7 and 8 are bonkers. They're so dumb.
I just want to say I'm mad I paid American money to see the most recent one.
But
That's what
they're
I'm-
about
that's what
That's
I'm-
on you.
They're
I
all
know
about
it's on me.
family.
I know it is, but
Family.
it's just the
You
fact that they said.
Family.
But
Family and
Janine,
family.
you don't understand. They sent 2 men into space in a Pontiac,
That shit was
and they
wild.
came back.
Like,
They came
yeah, they just
back.
get to the point where it's
If
like,
any car can
fuck it,
do it,
let's go to
it's a
space.
Pontiac.
yeah, the fact they were like, fuck it, we're going to space. So Looking at the artwork for me as this being my home park and having worked there for a long time, it's very interesting for a couple of reasons. First of all, it takes up the space of both the special effects stage and the animal actor stage up on the hill. So those two are goners if this happens. The other thing is the ride layout they don't really show it all, but it's all on the hillside, like kind of behind Simpsons, basically. Here's the thing. The neighbors of that park are the worst in the city, and the NIMBYs that have prevented that park from building any outdoor attractions are insane, because what's right next to the studio is some of the most expensive real estate in all of LA. It's the Lakeside Country Club, which is a golf course, and all the homes on that golf course.
That's what that was.
And so, it's the big green spot. It's very, so it's very exclusive private golf club. And then add to that the homes that are on it. Nobody wants to hear screaming roller coasters. They used to complain about the noise coming out of King Kong inside a building, about the noise coming out of the Simpsons inside of a building. So they have huge complaints about Halloween Horror Nights every year. So like, I look at this and go, how in the hell are they getting this approved? So
they
I'm
tell
very
them
curious.
to be a part of the family, Dave.
Family. That's it. They're telling them, be part of the family.
Be part of the family.
I mean, okay. Boo, Fast and Furious. Yes, roller coaster. I mean, I love the C shape. I think it's so cool.
It's gonna drift like Tokyo Drift.
The drifting is cool. Like, this is a ride that my 9, soon to be 10-year-old would love to go on.
Hey, he's adventurous, because I'm scared of this.
Hollywood Drift.
Oh, no, he's been on Velocicoaster. Like,
oh wow,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I was crying on Velocicoaster.
Oh, he's a nut.
Yeah,
roller coaster nut. But my wonder is eating people. So, how many people attend the animal show and the other thing that was there versus what's the capacity of this? Is this going to eat up as many people?
Oh, I feel like more, because especially in the off season, those shows didn't have as many show times every day.
Oh, that makes sense.
This will be a lot
over the course of the whole day. That makes sense.
Yeah,
cool.
and looking at the
what
plan,
I saw, yeah, I agree.
And looking at the plan, it looks like the queue eats up a lot in that building, and so I actually think that weird C shape over the thing. My guess is that's actually a sign, not part of the ride.
I agree.
It's telegraphing to you. It's like the Hulk in Florida, right? There's that coaster car and he's ripping the track apart. I think this is telegraphing to you, oh, my car's going to go sideways on this coaster before you get on. I don't think that's part of the ride.
And
just because
Rock and Roller Coaster, I just
find the layout so
down
fascinating.
Yeah,
like knowing how I know it is now, the layout is just so fascinating. Like upper lot, then lower lot, and then back.
They're making do with the space that they have. That's what it is, and it's very it's creative.
anything to make up for the tram ride and the ride in Florida, please.
And let me complain about that for a second. How dare they end that gorgeous tram tour with that atrocity?
We ignore that here, okay? We just close our eyes and ears.
We close our eyes. We pretend it doesn't happen.
Wait, what are you talking about?
You know what? Janita's really not to know.
Supercharged.
So Fast and Supercharged.
Oh,
is how they end.
Yes, I did
how
that.
They end the tram tour.
That. And
I
it's
was
the
like,
ride that's at. Which made me more mad because they took out Earthquake
so
to put in the worst segment of the tram tour in its own permanent building.
Yeah, we are not alone in this sentiment. It is unfortunately sort of universally hated. I know a lot of people who worked on those rides, so I feel really bad for them.
Yeah.
And I get on paper, especially in the tram tour, because we already have one 3D attraction of the tram. It's Kong, but Kong is about parking in place and being jostled around by a monkey and some dinosaurs. The pitch to this, I'm sure, was like, no, this is different. It's the tram going 60 miles an hour, which it can't do, and it's a whole new sensation. And on paper, I go, right, cool. You're using the same technology for a different application, but at the end of the day, it doesn't feel different. It feels like the same thing.
You
and it's
made me
loud.
ride supercharged against my will.
And unfortunately the graphics are not great. Like they look like PS2.
The graphics
they
are
were
bad,
horrible.
and the dancing girls is the worst part for me because
That
they
is
look
the
so
worst.
outdated.
Yeah.
I was
It's
like,
They
so
look like
bad.
early aughts. Yeah,
From
they're all
like the
dressed in like
first one.
Yeah, it's not
they
good.
look like they stepped out of a music video in like 2002.
No,
you know?
literally, like it's
literally
so bad.
circa 2003.
Mhm.
Like, my God.
Oh my god, the
So now
PS2
it's-
graphics. Yeah, y'all right. Yeah.
So now it's time to talk about our beware our guests.
The
our
other nightmares.
Terrible guests. The other nightmares.
Other nightmares.
Of the parks.
Yeah.
Janine, what do we got?
We have another entry in the classic tale of Disney guests scooting through the line to meet the rest of their party and then other people in line not being okay with that. We have a story of a grown-ass man spitting on the face of a 13-year-old girl for committing the assault of politely asking to scoot through the line to meet the rest of their party after abandoning the queue for Rise of the Resistance at Hollywood Studios.
And not only was it's not just spitting, it was like a mouthful of water.
A mouthful of water and just drenched
a chug of water
a 13-year-old girl.
In 2022,
yes,
post-COVID, you're gonna
We're
put
in
your
it.
bodily
It's not
fluid.
post-COVID.
Okay,
COVID
maybe
is
not
still
post-COVID.
here.
COVID. Okay, yeah.
There's nothing post about
There's
it.
nothing post about it. But in the flu, during COVID, during this entire pandemic, you're gonna put your bodily fluids on another person.
They said it was summer. That's even worse.
Oh, it was July 31st. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in summer.
Nope, that's a nightmare.
No, that's why. It's July. It's the heat, right? Everybody goes insane.
Yeah.
I'm not wasting my hydration on
Phase
you.
of the moon. July
Phase of the moon.
31st.
Yeah.
Phase of the moon.
I'm with you.
No, it was a
with
waxing
you.
crescent. We can't blame the moon on that.
No, it was there's a retrograde.
My
Oh,
entire
it's a
thing just froze. Hold on. Oh, wait, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you.
Oh my god, it froze for like a whole second. Okay.
Oh,
we're
weird.
good.
So yeah, anyway, the girl and her father in their grace declined to press charges, which is remarkable because if a grown-ass man spit in my 13-year-old's face,
Hands would
he
have
would
been
be
thrown.
lucky to be alive.
I would be
Like his
throwing
best case
hands,
scenario
for
is
sure.
jail.
Yeah.
Best case scenario.
Best case.
And apparently Disney, I don't know if the guy I don't know. I don't know if he immediately apologized or whatever.
He did. He said that he knows it was a stupid thing to do, but he was upset in the moment and made a bad decision.
You're a
That was
grown-ass
the
man.
apology from
to
the guy.
the cops.
Yeah,
Right,
not to the right. You're right.
Not
That was
to
to
the
the sheriff.
frontal
family.
cortex is
what
developed.
did he say to
Like-
them? I don't know. And apparently Disney
Grown-ass
gave
man.
him a trespass warning. Okay, fine if they don't want to press charges. This person should be banned for life.
Yeah, grown
In my opinion.
grown ass man.
Spitting on a child.
Realistically, though, when is Disney going to ban anybody at this point? Like, they don't ban anybody when they're supposed to be banned. People bringing in guns, and I'm almost certain they don't ban them.
No, they do. They do for sure.
We had on the way in the park,
get people arrested.
on the way into Disneyland a couple months ago. There's a guy in front of us at the security line, and he had like a cooler, and they open it up, and it's literally filled with beer, like a 12-pack of beer, and then he pulls out the contents of his pocket, and it's like a hunting knife, and he's like, "I carry this everywhere." I'm like,
Not to Disney, you don't.
Why do you need it at Disneyland?
I know. Who knows?
Why do you
need to open a box?
But he literally thought
He's expecting a
he literally
shipment.
said, I heard him. He said, "Don't you have a picnic area so I can sit down and have this beer?" And I'm like, "That's not how Disneyland works."
Oh no!
I mean, in theory, I guess he wasn't wrong in that thinking.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. I don't know. So
what
anyway,
was he hunting at Disneyland? I'm confused.
So so we have one instance where water on a guest, and now we have another one where it's a guest in the water.
yeah. Disney's California Adventure. Apparently, this is the classic tale. Someone dropped an object into the water at Grizzly River Run or Grizzly Peak, right? Grizzly Peak, not the run, not in the
not the
raft
actual ride.
Yeah, it's like
Grizzly,
the
not
waterfall
ride,
area.
The waterfall area.
The photo op, yeah.
Yeah. And decided to jump in and try to get it and got stuck. And so then another person did the classic, oh no, someone's stuck, I have to go rescue them, and also got stuck. So yeah, 2 people, grown-ass people, had to be extracted by cast members from the Grizzly Peak in Disney's California Adventure.
And it was like next to the ride, there's like a pathway. It's a rear pathway that goes sort of through the woods and the rock. It's actually one of my favorite spots in California.
It's beautiful.
This lovely little walkway, like you're in a California national park, and it's this rushing waterfall, and it looks like what's called Devil's Postpile, which are those natural rock formations that look like hexagons, and like near Mammoth Lakes. And so it's that, and it's a little pool of water that they jumped into where this waterfall goes. Can you imagine if they had dropped, because they dropped something, right? They lost some of the personal item. Imagine if they had dropped that like in the ride trough and decided to jump in the ride trough.
I have to imagine they would have decided not to try that.
Oh man, they would have been killed. I mean,
my question is,
you'd be dead. You'd be dead.
Yeah.
Did they get what fell in the water?
I would hope
was
so.
it worth it?
Right, like was it worth it?
Yeah.
Was it worth it?
I wonder if they got trespassed. It doesn't.
Probably not.
WDWNT covering it. They didn't cover whether they got banned or not.
They probably got some fresh, clean, free clothes.
Yeah.
From the store. So that's it. That's probably all that they got, and went on their merry way.
Idiots.
And maybe hypothermia. It was cold that weekend. It was a cold weekend. But yeah, nothing is worth it for me to jump into that nasty water.
Nope.
Nothing. I'll just consider it going.
It's like that guy that was like drinking the water out of all the fountains.
That's disgusting.
To get TikTok likes. It was gross. Yeah.
That's
gross.
So
kids pee in those. You know that, right? Like, kids pee in those.
You're willingly trying to get a parasite. Like
there's mostly some of those fountains are mostly pee. Let's just be real honest.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that in mind.
What a way to end it.
An auspicious close on a pee joke. Rat Castle. Ladies, this has been lovely. Thank you for letting me part of Ladies' Night this time. This was so much fun. As always. Rat Castle is produced by Nathan Hartman. We miss you, Nathan. We'll see you next time. Please.
Can we also give a shout out? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's Nathan and his wife's
Happy
10th anniversary tonight. That is the reason he is not here.
That's why he's missing it. Happy anniversary. Happy
Nathan
anniversary.
and
Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.
10 years.
Do we know how many years?
10 years.
10.
It's a milestone.
10.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And
That
Katie
is
is so lovely. And I love them. I love them so much. So yes.
Congratulations,
happiest
guys.
of anniversaries.
You kids. Congratulations, you whack kids. So Nathan Hartman is celebrating his anniversary and is also our producer. Please consider subscribing so you don't miss an episode, and tell all your friends about us. Please pimp us out on your socials. We love new listeners. You can check out our website at ratcastlepodcast.podbean.com. And if you have questions for us or comments, bit.ly/ratcastle. We love hearing from you. We'll read your questions and letters and reviews on the air. So we're lonely. Please write to us. With that, please grab your belongings, lift your lap bar, and exit to the left.
Will you stop this foolishness?
What foolishness would you like to see?
Will you get out of here?